Hi, welcome to Houston Zoo's Facebook Live. My name is Claire and I am one of the giant river otter keepers here at the zoo. We are currently in the Pantanal region of the zoo, which is where you can find our giant river otters. And today we have with us Miss Marley. Marley is a 9-year-old giant river otter. These guys are found in South America. The Amazon rainforest being one of their biggest areas, and as you can tell, Marley is making a lot of vocalizations. Giant river otters have 22 vocalization sounds, and she's off. They're the loudest otter species, both in frequency and in volume. Is she going to come back? So giant river otters are a very social species of otters. In fact, they are the most social otter species. They live in family groups of up to 20 individuals, but typically it's between 6 and 8 that you're going to see. A group of giant river otters on land is called a romp. In water, it is called a raft. And if we can get Marley back over here, we can show you her unique chest markings. That is how giant river otters tell one another apart. It's kind of like a fingerprint. Each giant river otter has a distinctive different throat patch. As you can see, Marley has kind of a little fish hook. These are very high energy animals, as you can also see. We get a lot of bouncing. There we go, nice trout. And she's probably going to take that into her cave to eat. In their natural environment, giant river otters will hunt smaller fish on their own, but when they are together for bigger prey items, they'll actually hunt together. These guys are apex predators. One of the really unique things is they have been known to take down anacondas, caimans, and even fend off jaguars. One of their staple food items in the Amazon rainforest is also piranhas. These guys are pretty fearless when it comes to hunting for fish. Now, if you see the way Marley holds on to her fish, they have very unique webbed feet that are perfect for holding on to those slippery fish. They have 36 pointed teeth. The really cool fact is that they actually have what's called a sagittal crest on top of their skull. Animals with a sagittal crest have a very powerful bite force, which for a giant river otter, the bite force is a little over 600 psi. If you also look, you can see long whiskers, which are referred to as vibrissae. One of the really unique things about these whiskers is they can detect water movement when fish swim by, and they can fish in extremely murky waters. You can look in closely at Marley here and see these vibrissae or whiskers. Another unique fact is they have muscles that close off their nose and ears when they dive, so that keeps their water from getting in their ears. They also have the shortest fur out of all the otter species in the world. They have that underclaw, and then they have longer guard hairs. Those guard hairs repel the water, keeping the otter nice and dry. Now, giant river otters can get up to 6 feet for males, about 5.5 feet for females. Males can get to be about 70 pounds, typically between 60 and 70, whereas females between 50 and 55 pounds. At Marley, I apologise, last weigh-in, she was right at 54 pounds. She is a 9-year-old giant river otter. They typically live to about 12 years old, sometimes longer in a controlled environment because they're getting that good quality fish and around-the-clock medical care. Like I said before, for everyone just joining us, these are the most vocal species of otter, both in frequency and in volume. One of the really unique things is when they get together and vocalize together, they create what is referred to as a sound signature. Now, that sound signature is unique to each individual group of otters. So scientists can actually study these animals in their natural environment without ever seeing them. Do we have any questions? Perfect. If anybody has questions, please feel free to go ahead and ask them questions about our giant river otters. These are endangered species of otters. One of the things Houston Zoo is currently doing to help with that is we are partners with a conservation society in Brazil, and they are teaching tourists how to safely interact and view the otters, which is referred to as ecotourism. So it's a way you can see the otters without getting too close and impacting their environment. Unfortunately, habitat degradation, habitat loss is impacting the giant river otter numbers, so it's very important that we do what we can to minimise the impact we have on our environment so these beautiful species can be around in the future. She is a very vocal lady when it comes to food. One of her favourite foods is actually catfish. All of our otters love catfish. And that's something they would eat in their natural environment. They are classed as piscivores, which means that they eat mainly fish, but they will sometimes eat snakes such as anaconda and crabs or whatever they can opportunistically find. And she's off. So if you look at that big, long, powerful tail, that is actually what giant river otters use for swimming. It propels them very fast through the water, and they average about 9 miles an hour. However, they can get faster in short bursts. A giant river otter can swim approximately 300 feet in 30 seconds. Hopefully she'll come back over here. Sounds like she's vocalising. For you if it's just joining us, giant river otters have 22 unique vocalisation sounds. It can be barks, chirps, squeaks, high-pitched sounds, kind of like what Marley is currently making. These are very social species of otter. Can live in groups of up to 20, but 60 is typically the more common number. They have a very powerful bite force. As stated before, they have that bone on the top of their skull, which is referred to as a sagittal crest, which means that they have very powerful jaw muscles. Unfortunately, in the 50s and 60s, one of the things that impacted our giant river otter populations was the fur trade. They were hunted to near extinction because of the fur trade, but they are now protected by law, and their numbers are starting to come back. And she's off again. I'm sure she'll come and bless us with her presence in a few minutes. So giant river otters can typically get pregnant every 6 to 7 months, but it's usually not quite as much. They can have up to 5 babies, but it usually is around 2. At the zoo, they eat tilapia, trout, and catfish. Their favourite is by far the catfish. Their least favourite is tilapia. And here she comes. Are you going to slide? One of the things our giant river otters love to do is slide down their slide. It's really fun to watch. I don't think she knows what she's doing right now. So we do have a door back there that she's kind of checking out to see if there's anyone out there, and back in the water. So giant river otters are semi-aquatic, meaning that they do spend some of their time in water, but they also spend some of their time on land. They have very velvety, soft fur, which is why they were hunted in the past for the fur trade. Marley. So we also have 2 other giant river otters here that are a little bit younger and a little bit more energetic, obviously. We have Ken and Marumi that are in the back. We will see our otters come out on a rotational basis. Now, I did mention before that this was a highly social species. So unfortunately, Marley did lose her brother not too long ago. So we have reached out to other facilities that are part of SSP, which is a species survival plan. And we have looked into getting her another mate that should be coming into the zoo soon for her to be with. Right now, while we fill that gap, we're giving her extra training sessions, extra enrichment, extra keeper time, and we do have it where she can see and hear the other 2 giant river otters at night time. Unfortunately, because giant river otters have a matriarch, we cannot put her with the other female. They have a kind of pecking order where you have that female who is the top matriarch, then you have your dominant male, and then you have the siblings who stay around for a few years to help raise the younger siblings before they branch out and form their own group of giant otters. So it's very energetic. These guys are diurnal. They don't have great night vision because they're up during the day. They hunt during the day. So they typically hunt mostly in the morning and early afternoon and then slow down towards the end of the day. They build really large dens out in their natural environment, which can be as much as 100 foot long. They have different entrances so they can escape quickly if a predator approaches them. Typically, when you have a raft or a group of giant river otters, they will team up on other animals and run larger animals like jaguars out of their territory. So unless it's a giant river otter on its own, a jaguar is probably not going to mess with them. It's very rare that a jaguar would get a giant river otter because you have a group of them coming at you. The jaguar is like, no thank you. Same with large caiman and snakes. So for you just joining us, this is our giant river otter Marley. She can be seen in the Pantanal region of the Houston Zoo. Giant river otters have a lot of unique adaptations. They are found in the Amazon rainforest and around South America. They are an endangered species. They're also called an indicator species, meaning that if you find giant river otters, that typically indicates that you have a healthy environment with a lot of good food and fish. One of the ways you can help giant river otters is if you ever go to see them in their natural environment, make sure that it's ecotourism that you're going through to visit these animals. So unique facts about giant river otters is they are the loudest, they have the shortest fur. They can get up to 9 miles an hour, which is not too fast, but it's pretty fast for an otter. They have a strong, powerful bite force. So I want to thank you all for tuning in, and we would love it if you would come and visit our giant river otters. And if you see myself and any of the other keepers here at the zoo, feel free to come and ask us some questions.